Chapter 18. Clean Misunderstandings. Blue. I catch myself scratching at my neck, scratching at the band of skin where my collar used to sit, that thin plastic band that would rub red and bruise. I catch myself looking at Master's bag once more. The desire to see that shiny bell, the soft leather, it's overwhelming. There's a zing of pain, and I realize that I may have scratched too deep. My hands go to my cleaning rag, twisting it, trying to keep them occupied. It's stupid anyway. I can't just go and put it on. Master wouldn't appreciate me going through his stuff. I have to earn it. I know that. Master said he would be gone for a while. The best way for him to come home is to a clean house. The cleaning rag in my hand still reeks of the wood shine. I've already started this task. I might as well see it through. The next room is a dining room with a wide-open sliding door that attaches right into the hall. During a party, the door would be rolled back to the point where it wouldn't be seen, and the people could walk right in. The table is wooden, and I use the same oil to work it to a shine before setting to work on the china cupboard. Plates, bowls, and utensils that haven't been used in a year or more all get washed and polished to a shine before going back in the cabinet. Trinkets get rubbed down, ensuring that the gleam of newness gets evenly distributed. A few of them startle me. The crystals and some of the figurines and beads weigh unnatural amounts. It is a certainty in my mind that they are magical, and I pass the cloth over them only once before returning them to their resting spot. I will have to ask Master how to properly care for those specific items. Once everything in that room is handled, I feel good for a moment, before I realize it's probably been a few days since the floor has been mopped, and my hands are starting to reek of the polishing fluid. I reluctantly pull off the shirt that Master has given me. It's soft and warm, but I do not want to damage it. I fold it and set it aside before rolling the pants legs up to my mid-thigh. That should suffice to keep them out of the way. The shirt I will reclaim when all the cleaning is done, my reward for good work. The purplish cleaning fluid has a strong scent that doesn't quite match the flowers on the label, but I assume Master must like it. He bought it, after all. The mopping goes uneventfully, but by the time I've gotten all the open rooms on the bottom floor, I realize that I'm panting with my effort. My feet and calves burn with exertion they haven't felt in days, locked up and unable to stand. I sit down hard on the stairs, trying to blink out the spots in my vision. I bite my lip, trying to keep the frustrated noise at the back of my throat down. My hand goes to the inside of my wrist, scratching nervously to relieve the tension. It's thanks to Master that I can stand at all. I haven't done enough to make up for what I've taken. My debt is too far in his favor. If I don't do something about it, he'll get rid of me. I clean the steps next, and that's hard on my knees, but at the very least it takes the pressure off my feet. Upstairs, 3 doors are locked, leaving only the door to Master's bedroom and an extra door leading to the bathroom from last night. Master's room is not as much a functional space as the rest of his house. The kitchen had been a fairly indulgent space, well lived in, but even then there wasn't much around. The living and dining rooms had been Spartan, really untouched from their original furnishings. His bedroom, however, didn't subscribe to the typical pattern. The bookshelves are not the same orderly installation at the shelf above the fireplace. Here, books are strewn all across the room. Some lie open on the floor and the desk. The shelves are stuffed near comically with Master's collection. Small knickknacks have made homes for themselves on the shelves, and ink pots, incense, and papers lie scattered on the desk. The bed remains as I left it this morning, unmade. Heat rises in my face as I take in the state of the room. I can't believe I left the room without at least making the bed. It is easily the most lived-in place in the entire house. Everything Master seems to need is here. I was allowed to stay here. An important space for him. I'm at once proud and distressed. Proud that Master sees some value in me that I cannot, that I was allowed to sleep next to him for the night, and he still let me sit with him at breakfast. That pride is near instantly undercut by the intensity of my stupidity. I should have started in here. Now I hold so much of the cleaner's scent it's making me woozy, and I know my fingers are stained with the tinted oils designed for wood. I hurry over to the bathroom and begin running the water over my hands, trying to rub out the stain as I go. Standing still feels weird, and I find myself shifting on the pads of my feet to keep the discomfort at bay. The stain doesn't go away fully, but eventually the water is running clean, and I assume that is the best I'm going to get. When I run my fingers across clean skin, no stain spreads, so I assume it's safe to touch Master's items now. The bed goes first. I tuck in the corners and fluff up the pillows before straightening the blanket. It looks much more presentable after that. The books on the floor go next. I make sure to mark the open pages just in case they're important, before filing them into crooked bits of space in the bookshelf. It isn't until I start trying for the higher spaces on the shelf that I lose my balance. The pain in my feet has grown to the point where it's becoming difficult to really stand. So when my knees give out, it's all I can do to flail my arms, trying to control my descent. Unfortunately, I am descended from no avian species, because I fall hard into the bucket of cleaning fluid that I had brought up for the bathroom on this floor and immediately get doused. The scent is what gets me first, instantly overwhelming and caustic, but it's followed closely by the full body screaming of my wounds being soaked with the solution. I scramble away on instinct, barely registering the mess I've made on the carpeting and the fact that I've ruined the pants Master gave me. My head spins, dizzy from the scent, and I know I'm going to throw up. I crawl as quickly as I can to the chamber pot, reaching it seconds before I couldn't hold back anymore. I don't hear the door open, but I can hear my master's voice ring through the empty bottom floor. "Blue, I'm home!" My mind races furiously as I try to quell the sickness within me. I need to go greet him at the door. I need to be presentable. I need to stop throwing up and show him how grateful I am for the... Oh, stars. I didn't put my dish away. It was his only order, and I didn't even attempt to honor it. I wanted to get a chance to finish it off before he got home. I wanted to have time to savor the last bits of his meal. I'm such an idiot. If I had just been a little less selfish, then I could have obeyed. Oh, stars, and when he finds the mess I've made, he'll be so mad. I can feel the hot tracks of tears burn down my face. My hands clutch at the edges of the bowl, desperate to ground myself. Forget ever earning the collar. I've earned the whip 9 times over. Blue! He's much clearer now, and I realize as a hand comes down on my shoulder it's because he's in the room with me. Blue, what... Ugh, what are you covered in? Blue, what happened? I don't want to answer him. I really don't, but he deserves an answer. I'm a little stubbornly happy that another wave of nausea rolls over me and I'm prevented from answering. Oh, stars, Blue! I'm sorry, I croak out, just out of time for politeness. Any other words die in my wrecked throat. I don't want to be bad, so why is it that I can never be good? I wanted to impress him. I wanted to make him happy. I wanted to be held again, pet until I purred. I'm almost sure he likes it when I purr. Shh, it's okay. Oh boy, let's get this off. We can wash off the worst of this in a tick, okay? He keeps talking as he winds the bandages off my body. I'm trembling against him, unable to make a single coherent sound as I feel the cleaning fluid seeping into his clothing. He's not getting angry, but I can't believe that. He's waiting until I understand what's happening to mete out my punishment. When his hands get down to my hips, there's a choked-off moan that takes me a moment to realize I've made. I feebly wiggle, trying to get out of his hold or entice him, I don't know, though I know I must be a very sorry sight right now. Not very pretty at the least. I try to blink the tears out of my eyes as I look up to see him properly. When it comes into focus, his face isn't angry, but there's a line in between his brows like he's focusing particularly hard. Master, I try to squeak out, though my throat is scraping like sandpaper. Blue, do your feet hurt? The question seems odd until I look down at my feet. Angry red lines spill out across the bottoms of my feet, some working their way as high as my ankle. I can still feel their burn even though I'm not on them at the moment. Now that he mentions it, that was a rule as well, wasn't it? One of the only other rules he had given. If it starts to hurt, sit down and tell me. I should have heeded his order. He was not there to tell, but I could have sat and waited for him to come home. He may have been upset about my lack of productivity, but it would have been better than undoing all his hard work. Suddenly, his arms around me feel a lot more like a vice, and I'm having trouble breathing. I couldn't fulfill one of his orders today, not a single one. He still has some more time before school starts. He could find a much better familiar in even that short amount of time. I haven't set the bar very high. Almost anyone could do better. Shh, Blue. I'm going to put you in the tub so we can wash all the chemicals out of your wounds and off your skin. Then we're going to see an actual doctor about this. He continues on, but his voice fades out over the rush in my own ears. The tub doesn't fill this time. I know I haven't earned that, but the steady pressure from the shower head is grounding at least. It stings, but I know that is my fault. I was bad. This is what I deserve. I find that my fingers are too feeble to actually clutch at the washcloth that Master has started scrubbing with, so I just sit still as he moves the cloth over my body. The soap doesn't bubble, and I can't quite pick up a scent. When the scrubbing goes into my wounds and it burns more than the slide of the cloth over my bruises, it hurts a lot. And with my stomach feeling like lead, some cynical piece of my mind wonders why he's even bothering to clean me. The water switches off, and I'm toweled down before Master pulls me into a set of ill-fitting clothes and uses a crystal to call for a carriage. Even with the warmth of the shower, I can feel the chills setting into my bones. I feel like there's cotton stuffed in my ears, keeping me from perceiving the world around me quite right. I don't have the heart to look higher than his pacing feet as we wait. There's nothing I can say or do in the time that it will take for a carriage to get here that will change his mind. I try not to cry regardless. I was bad. I need to accept my fate. The carriage gets here and Master thinks I don't know the rules. He tries to trick me into sitting on the chairs with him, but I stay on the ground until I'm hoisted into the seat beside him. His arms stay around me like he thinks a moment without his direct contact and I will disobey him. I suppose I haven't given him much evidence to the contrary. I wrap the last vestiges of my heart around the contact and pray I can be better. I pray that Master will change his mind. But he gives the coach directions and we are off. I understand. I was bad. We're going to the doctor. Master's done with me. He's going to put me down.